Good morning. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Steven. This is WTX, and I've been bird watching this entire weekend because it has been eventful. And I'm not talking eventful in a good way either. I'm talking eventful in a possible panic, bank run, bank crisis, whatever you want to call it. Um, I'm on Unusual Whales Twitter page just because of the comment itself, and I'll get to that here in a second. But with SVB going under over 48 hours, the government put out a statement. The U.S. Treasury specific said that uninsured investments will get their money on Monday morning. Haven't seen or read anything yet about companies being able to access their funds, but it tells me that the government is willing to make sure that companies, investment companies, are going to get their money. This is a lot. Roku had 26 or 29% in uh, holdings in SVB, and it's a lot. But then Roblox said they had about 5% of its 3 billion. So if they're willing to have access for these companies, especially all the money that's there, this is going to add up, and this is going to be a lot. And who is going to pay for it? Even though the Treasury said that it's not going to affect taxpayers, then who is it going to affect? If you're saying it's going to be spread out through banks in America, like every bank, and these banks are going to pool their money towards um, letting these customers access their accounts, that's a lot. That's a lot of money, and this is going to affect a lot of banks. People are going to panic. And the funny thing is that social media, and I don't know about these blue check marks just because what's been popping up on my Twitter feed seems as if they are not necessarily blue check mark worthy in my eyes, just because they were kind of going on a rant of how they were going to go to a bank and they were going to pull their money out. And I mean, I made a comment on my Twitter page, just like a joking one, because I utilized the South Park reference. Like I would I would like to make a withdrawal. I said something of like, yeah, I'm going to go to the grocery store Monday morning and uh, make a withdrawal or something like that. And I use the South Park, and it's gone. But it's not funny because it's a serious issue, and how this could potentially become more of an aggravated bank run, and we can see momentum just moving every day. I mean, with six banks this morning being halted due to potential um, potential bank runs. CMA, MCB, First Republic, Western Alliance, they have the opportunity supposedly to see a bank run, and it's hard to say. I don't necessarily know. I've seen PacWest before. I've seen Western Alliance, and I could have sworn those were just like regular, like small banks, small regulators. And again, I haven't seen anybody come through with videos saying like, I can't get my money out. This is bogus. Like I'm being affected type thing. It's still early though. It's still early. The day for a lot of people doesn't end for another 8 hours. Um, but again, we'll see. We'll see what time will tell us, especially over the next couple days. And it's either going to be damaging not only to the banking system, or it's going to just be a show of power, not like a show of power within like the banking like management and how they're going to handle the situation, or a power within the government showing the public that they're able to handle the banking crisis. Well, it's like this morning Biden released a statement saying that that the banking system is fine. Something like that. It's like layman's terms or something like that. Biden. The president has said that Americans can have confidence that the banking system is safe. Your deposits will be there when you need them. Second and third largest bank failures have happened in the last 3 days. This almost seems like a warning sign to me. It's like, hey, we're gonna have to step in. Just like, we are supposed to have confidence, but with what happened with SVB, how many other banks aren't going through this? They're not abusing their abilities to find like small loopholes to see unrealized gains and buy bonds and then try to sell those bonds, especially if FOMC is going to raise rates on March 21st, 22nd. How is that going to affect the economy? How is that going to affect inflation? Are we going to crash land? Well, if they don't raise rates, then we're going to see higher inflation. If they do raise rates, then we're going to see um, we're going to see a banking crisis shortly. There's analysts that are saying that FOMC is going to pause rates this month. I'm going to say I hope it doesn't happen. I hope that they continue to raise rates just because they can expose banks for their wrongdoing. Biden said that they're holding those responsible for this mess. Well, if you're going to hold them responsible, it sounds like our government, especially our president, is just filling empty promises because how many crises have we been through and how many CEOs have benefited off of it? Right now, the SVB CEO is benefiting, profiting. Like there's negligence being done at his company in the last 72 hours since Friday, like actually since Thursday last week. He negligently knew what he was doing. I mean, he knew what he was doing for the last, well, however, like a couple years. Like he just did not care. And he could sit on the screen, tell the whole world that he does care, that he didn't do this on purpose, that it wasn't meant to be. But he's probably sitting in Bora Bora, Scotland, the Netherlands. He could be sitting anywhere. He could be sitting in Mexico, in front of a screen, and with some fancy ass walls, fancy cabinets, fancy glass, like fancy couches. It doesn't matter. Like he does not care. He got his bag and he is out. And I'm curious to see what's going to happen with other CEOs of banks and how they're going to try to find their bag before they lose their jobs, or not lose their jobs, but because I mean I don't think they lose their jobs. The government's not going to arrest them. They're not going to put them under. Yeah, they don't do that. Maybe they will. Who knows? Maybe Biden will hold them accountable. I don't think that'll happen though. Um, it's it's going to be a very interesting week, and it's going to be a very interesting couple months until whether if they pause rate hikes this month or if they diminish rate hikes between now and the next few months. If they diminish rate hikes, we're going to see higher inflation. If they increase rate hikes, we're going to see a crash landing into a recession. That's what it is. But going to continue to follow these stories just because it's it's going to be very intriguing to watch, and I mean it's intriguing to watch because it's happening in real time in my eyes. Um, we'll see. I appreciate you coming out. I hope you have a good day.